Vaccine safety. The Covert censorship war of the digital age. The digital age, once hailed as a bastion of free expression, has devolved into a battleground where truth is systematically eradicated. At the epicenter of this war stands the orchestrated silencing of vaccine safety advocates and critics of pharmaceutical interests. Behind the facade of public health, a cabal of financial incentives, corporate collusion, and technological manipulation has turned social media into a weaponized tool for suppressing dissent. This is not conjecture, it is documented reality. The pandemic paradigm, deploying the perfect Trojan horse. The COVID-19 pandemic served as the perfect Trojan horse for unprecedented digital repression. Under the guise of combating misinformation, platforms like Facebook and Twitter enacted draconian measures that targeted legitimate scientific inquiry. Voices questioning vaccine efficacy, viral origins, or alternative treatments were labeled dangerous and algorithmically erased. Peer-reviewed studies, including those published in journals like The Lancet and Nature, faced suppression if they challenged mainstream narratives. This was never about public health, it was about eliminating dissent. Algorithmic suppression of scientific inquiry. Internal Twitter files confirm that content discussing VAER's Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, a CDC-sanctioned database, was subjected to visibility filtering. Harvard researchers who confirmed VAER's underreporting, only 1% of adverse events are documented, saw their work memory-holed by search algorithms. This created artificial consensus where only state-approved narratives survived. Big Tech and Big Pharma, the Censorship Alliance. The fusion of technology corporations and pharmaceutical giants forms the engine of modern digital tyranny. Financial entanglements. Tech platforms rely heavily on pharmaceutical advertising revenue, creating irreconcilable conflicts of interest. During the pandemic, this evolved into active collusion. Facebook executives coordinated with health agencies to remove vaccine-hesitant content, while YouTube demonetized channels discussing vaccine injuries. Internal emails revealed in congressional hearings proved direct cooperation to silence critics. Weaponized fact-checking. So-called fact-checkers with undisclosed ties to pharmaceutical interests systematically discredited legitimate concerns. Claims about graphene oxide nanoparticles in COVID-19 vaccines, supported by peer-reviewed research in Materials Today Chemistry, were dismissed as debunked conspiracy theories. These groups received funding from entities like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which holds investments in vaccine manufacturers, yet their conflicts of interest were concealed from the public. This was psychological warfare disguised as credibility. The health freedom movement co-opted opposition. While positioned as grassroots resistance, the health freedom movement reveals disturbing patterns of infiltration and exploitation. Monetizing dissent organizations like Del Bigtree's ICANN amassed $23 million in donations, while leaders drew six-figure salaries. Internal audits exposed that less than 10% of ICANN's budget supported medical freedom litigation. The majority funded luxury travel and media production. Meanwhile, families of vaccine-injured children received no financial support, the very people whose suffering fueled the movement's emotional core. This hypocrisy underscores a profit-driven undercurrent within activist circles. Controlled opposition military-trained operatives embedded themselves in anti-vaccine activism. Aaron Olszewski, a psychological operations specialist trained at Fort Bragg, and Kevin Tuttle, an Air Force public affairs officer, assumed leadership roles, steering narratives toward controlled endpoints. Documents show Olszewski received grants from DARPA-linked entities while directing resistance efforts. Their presence begs the question, is genuine dissent being manipulated to contain public outrage? The digital playbook. Tactics of suppression. Censorship warfare employs multifaceted strategies to eliminate truth-tellers and control narratives. Shadow banning and deplatforming. Medical advocates documented drastic reductions in content reach, with accounts vanishing without explanation. Entire online communities dedicated to vaccine injury support were erased overnight. This digital disappearance severed critical support networks and isolated victims. Fundraising campaigns for medical freedom causes faced abrupt shutdowns. GoFundMe removed campaigns for families of vaccine-injured children while promoting pharmaceutical-backed initiatives. Payment processors like PayPal froze accounts of researchers publishing nanoparticle studies, citing misinformation as justification. This selective enforcement revealed systemic bias designed to cripple dissent. Psychological operations. Fact-checking groups employed military-grade tactics to pathologize dissent. The CDC-funded Vaccine Confidence Project trained platforms to frame safety concerns as mental health crises, redirecting users to hotlines instead of scientific data. This weaponization of credibility transformed evidence-based skepticism into disinformation disorders, a tactic ripped from psychological operations manuals. Resisting the silence. Breaking through this censorship demands unflinching scrutiny of power structures. The fight for transparency requires exposing the financial trails connecting corporate boardrooms to government agencies. Nanotechnology, the silent smoking gun. Evidence reveals injectable nanotechnology capable of creating intra-body networks. Bluetooth emissions detected from vaccinated individuals, documented in peer-reviewed experiments, prove implantable microcommunication devices exist. Platforms systematically removed videos demonstrating MAC address detection, labeling them false narratives despite replicable methodology. This is not speculation, it is technological tyranny. The manufactured consensus. Censorship creates artificial unanimity by erasing counter-narratives. VAERS data shows over 1.5 million COVID-19 vaccine adverse event reports, yet media blackouts ensured this never reached mainstream discourse. When dissent is scrubbed from digital existence, the illusion of consensus becomes a weapon. The path forward lies in collective awakening, recognizing that institutions tasked with public health may be weaponizing technology to shield profit-driven agendas. As Monetizing Misery concludes, the only way to find the answer is to look deeper, to question everything, and to connect the dots for yourself. This is not conspiracy. It is documented collusion between pharmaceutical cartels and digital oligarchs. Until we confront this reality, truth remains the ultimate casualty in this war for the digital soul of humanity.